evening, everyone, and welcome back to King B's RNS Podcast. We go through some RNSs of the day, what happened in the market, and a little summary on each one. So first up, GST, 4% up on the day. They are going to purchase 60% of EasySend. It's a cross-border payment system. They want to access their mobile terminal tech, but there's no numbers, annoyingly, in the RNS. We don't know how much it cost. We don't know how much of their original cash flow they've got to use. But I did mention on previous podcasts that I think they raised 850,000 plus they had 4 million in the bank. So they said they were raising for acquisitions, so it must be to do with this. Next up, AXL. We have some profit, people, and I ask for profit a lot. Production up 68%, 12 million in the bank, 6.5 million in positive cash flow, increase of reserves, and more reserves to come. Sounds great. Positive RNS, not much more to say on that, but only 1% up on the day. Then from a positive one to, unfortunately, a negative one for shareholders, and I'm so sorry, guys, that people are still holding this. Been a bit of a torrid affair. MSMN. They've raised 250,000, 2 billion shares. There's 1 billion warrants hidden in here too. Exercise price is 0.025, so at least that's a bit better. 120 million broker warrants as well. And they're saying it's going to pay for workovers, tech work and installations, operation costs, and working capital. How far is 250,000 going to go on all those four things? That's the only concern for me is they're going to surely need more cash if they can't get their production up and cover their costs and need just a small raise. But, we'll have to see what happens next. They're trying to reduce the overhead to 40% and things, but there's a long way to go, I think, unfortunately, shareholders, to get some money in the business. Next up, BMN. I talked about the sort of 12 million raise that needs to come, but instead they've raised 15 million. The directors are participating. It's at 3p, so an increase on today's RNS. It's a bit spiky at the end, but kind of finished pretty much flat. But yeah, it's nice to see a placing done above the current share price, and good to see directors taking part in the subscription. Next up, ARC. They've talked about lithium bearing pegmatites. They're sending to the lab. Not much more to say about this one, but 10% down on the day. People just need a bit more at the moment. Next one, EEE. Now, I talk a lot about the excitement of the discovery phase for our Lazonde curve, and talk about metals and mining, and how the discovery phase gets you a good return on metals and mining. And look what we're seeing, another 26% up on the day. Been an absolutely fantastic run for shareholders. And because they're in this exciting discovery phase, the more we look at this, the better our returns will be if we invest in the right time in these companies. So they also had a grant of options RNS today, but I'll go through to the main RNS. And I talk all about width and grade, and the combination of both is good, and the shallower the better. So they've got from 18.6 meters shallow and from 24 meters shallow, which is both good. 173.2 meters worth of 5.76 titanium oxide and 58.7 meters at 6.32 titanium oxide. So high grade too, and from shallow. So that's just there's another drill in there, but I wanted to give you just the snapshot and say shallow, high grade, big width, good. I'm very critical of metals and mining RNSs. If you've listened to my podcast, it's nice to pick one out that's good all round. Next up, ADME, 20% up on the day. They're a natural resources investment company, and they're going to purchase 53.1% of OFX Tech, which do efficient oilfield solutions. And the good thing about, I suppose, this RNS is they've got £225,000 CLM, which they've drawn down. So they've got the money in there, plus 10k they've already funded by the company. So they've got enough money to cover the cash part of this transaction. So it's actually relatively cheap. 86 million shares at 1p. So, it's not too bad all round as a purchase, but obviously we need some numbers to come out of it and see some profit coming into the company. And then last up, KAV, 7% up on the day. They are doing a few things, but they've got an asset that they're turning into basically it's a gold mining and exploration asset, which they're going to be purchasing. And they are also going to try and get the mining going again in Q1 2024. There's been some good surface exploration work they need to do to get there. They've seen high grades previously in this gold asset, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Pardon the pun, gold pun. I keep doing that in these podcasts. I'm so sorry. Next up, they're also talking about doing airborne geophysical surveys as well on the Kalahari copper belt in Botswana. So that's all the RNSs from the day that I've picked out. If you like what you heard and you want to join our group, we have the largest Telegram group in the UK for investors, and we really focus on research and facts as being the focus, and we do interviews with CEOs and lots of other things. So if you like what you hear, come and join us, and our link is in the description. Thanks everyone, have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.